So, picture this: you're just minding your own business, maybe digging through your change jar or that dusty old box in your closet, when suddenly you find a coin that could make you richer than you ever dreamed. I'm talking like, enough money to quit your day job, buy that dream vacation, or finally upgrade from instant noodles to, I don't know, fancy ramen. Well, today I'm going to tell you about a coin that might just be sitting in someone's pocket right now, the 2019 P Mint Mark State Quarter Dollar. Yeah, I know what you're thinking, 2019? That's practically yesterday. How can a coin that new be worth a whopping $1.2 million? Stick around, because by the end of this video you'll know why this little shiny disc is making waves in the coin world. And trust me, it's a wild ride. Plus, I'll share a little story about how I almost threw away a coin that could have been worth a fortune. Spoiler alert, it involves a really bad cup of coffee and some fast thinking. So grab a snack, settle in, and let's dive into the fascinating world of the 2019 P State Quarter, the $1 million coin you never knew you needed. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 2019 P Mint Mark State Quarter is part of the United States Mint State Quarters program, which ran from 1999 to 2008 and was then followed by the America the Beautiful Quarters, including the 2019 series. These coins are super popular because each one celebrates a different state or national park with cool designs that tell a story. But what makes the 2019 P Mint Mark Quarter worth so much? Spoiler, it's all about rarity and a little bit of mint magic. You see, the P stands for the Philadelphia Mint, one of the primary places coins get made. Normally, these quarters aren't rare at all, millions are made and they're in your change every day. But the 2019 P Mint Mark Quarter we're talking about is a special variant, with a minting error or a very limited release. When you combine low numbers with demand from collectors, prices can shoot through the roof. Think of it like those limited edition sneakers that sell out in seconds and then go for thousands on eBay. Same deal here, but instead of fancy shoes, it's a tiny coin. Now, here's a quick crash course on how coin values work. It's not just about the face value, that's just the number printed on the coin, which for quarters is 25 cents. The real value comes from things like, with the 2019 P Quarter, the rarity comes from a very specific error or limited batch. And guess what? Some of these quarters have been graded in mint condition and are fetching offers as high as $1.2 million on the market right now. A quarter worth over $1 million. Imagine paying 25 cents for something that could buy you a house. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this legit? Could I really have $1 million coin hiding in my couch cushions? Well, maybe. And it reminds me of this one time I was at a garage sale, so here's the story. A few years ago, I was browsing through some old boxes when I found a handful of coins that looked pretty ordinary. I tossed them in a bag and went off for a quick coffee. While sipping that very mediocre cup of joe, I flipped through a coin book and realized one of the coins I grabbed was a rare mint error, worth way more than I thought. That I immediately ran back to the garage sale guy and asked if I could buy the rest of the box. Long story short, I made a decent profit, and that's when I learned the importance of really knowing your coins. It's like treasure hunting, but without a map. Don't overlook your coins. Sometimes, those little round things jingling in your pocket could be the key to your next big payday. The Philadelphia Mint Mark, which is a small P on the coin, specific design details from that year and series, signs of mint errors like doubling, off-center strikes, or unusual finishes. That if you find one that matches, don't just stick it under your couch. Get it appraised by a professional coin grader. These experts will give you an official grade that can drastically affect the value. How do you actually sell a coin worth over $1 million without getting ripped off? That's where knowing trusted auction houses, coin dealers, and marketplaces comes into play. You want to avoid sketchy buyers who want to lowball you. Always do your homework and get multiple opinions. Even the famous actor Nicolas Cage is a coin collector. So you're in good company if you're into this stuff. And who knows, maybe one day your 2019 P Quarter will be featured in a movie or a museum. Alright, friends, time to wrap this up before we all start looking too hard for those golden quarters under the couch cushions. The 2019 P Mint Mark State Quarter might just be one of the most surprising coins out there, only about 25 cents but with the potential to be worth over $1 million if you've got the right one and it's in perfect shape. Don't overlook the small stuff. Your next big score might be hiding in plain sight. If you want to stay ahead of the game and learn more about coins that could make you some serious cash, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on the latest tips and tricks. And hey, if you've ever found a coin that blew your mind or have questions about your own collection, drop a comment below. I love hearing your stories, and who knows, maybe your find will inspire the next video. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep hunting, keep smiling, and remember, sometimes the smallest things pack the biggest punch. Your go-to spot for all things coins that could make you seriously rich without robbing a bank. Today, we're diving deep into one very special coin, the 1999 D New Jersey State Quarter. Now, this little guy might look like just another shiny piece of metal, but rumor has it, some of these quarters could be worth a whopping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.3 million. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know why this quarter is so valuable, how to spot a real one, and maybe even how to find your own treasure lying around your house or in your pocket. Spoiler alert, I've got a story about nearly losing a fortune in quarters that you don't want to miss. So grab your coffee, kick back, and let's get into it. Alright, first things first. The 1999 D New Jersey State Quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program launched by the U.S. Mint from 1999 to 2008. Each state got its own unique design, and New Jersey's quarter features the famous Revolutionary War scene with Washington crossing the Delaware River. Pretty cool, right? But what makes the New Jersey quarter worth more than your average pocket change? Well, it all comes down to rarity and mint errors. Most of the 1999 D New Jersey quarters you find out there are worth about 25 cents to a couple of bucks tops if they're in perfect condition. But a tiny fraction, like 1 in a million, has some special characteristics that make collectors drool and investors open their wallets wide. One big deal is the mint mark. The D stands for Denver Mint, and there were some rare variations in how the D looks, size, placement, and sometimes it's faint or doubled. A quarter with a clear mint mark error or some kind of weird die crack can skyrocket in value. Now, here's where it gets interesting. The condition of the coin is king. If you find a 1999 D New Jersey quarter in mint condition, and I mean like, fresh out of the mint flawless, with sharp details and no scratches, then guess what? That coin might be the one worth over $1 million in today's market. Believe it or not, these quarters have been sold at auctions for $1.3 million. Yeah, it's crazy but true. Collectors and investors are willing to pay insane amounts for rare, mint-condition state quarters because they are a piece of history and a potential goldmine. Alright, time for a little story. One weekend, I was rummaging through a dusty old box of coins I inherited from my grandpa. I was just casually flipping through quarters, bored out of my mind, when suddenly I spotted a 1999 D New Jersey quarter that looked shinier and sharper than the rest. I mean, this thing gleamed like it had just come out of a time machine. Now, I didn't know about the $1 million value at the time. I just thought, hey, this looks cool. So I popped it in my pocket and went about my day. Later, at a coin show, I showed it to a collector buddy, and his eyes nearly popped out of his head. He told me I had a rare mint error version, and that coin could be worth over $1 million. Long story short, I went through the whole process of getting it graded by the pros, and yeah, it turned out to be a real gem. That quarter changed my outlook on coins forever, and my wallet too. Never underestimate the value of that random coin in your pocket. It could be your ticket to financial freedom or at least a really good story at the next barbecue. Now, if you're thinking, okay, how do I know if my quarter is one of these rare $1 million gems? Is it shiny with crisp details? No scratches, no wear, no fingerprints? Look for weird lines, cracks, or oddities on the coin's surface. These mistakes often make coins valuable. The best way to know for sure is to get your coin graded by companies like PCGS or NGC. This certifies the coin's authenticity and condition and boosts its value. If you're sitting there thinking, I've got a jar of quarters at home, should I start inspecting? The answer is yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. It's a mix of historical significance, scarcity, and collector hype. The 50-state quarters program was a massive hit, and certain quarters were minted in fewer numbers or had errors, making them scarce. The New Jersey quarter with the Denver Mint mark error is like the unicorn of quarters. Collectors see them as not just coins, but as investment pieces. Over time, as these rare quarters become harder to find, their prices keep climbing. Plus, the cool factor, owning $1 million quarter? That's a great conversation starter. Don't clean it. Seriously, cleaning a coin can ruin its value. Handle it by the edges if you have to touch it. Oils from your skin can damage it. Take it to a reputable coin dealer or get it professionally graded. Don't rush to sell. Get multiple opinions and know the market, and finally, have fun. Coin collecting is as much about the thrill as it is about the money. The 1999 New Jersey State Quarter, a little coin with $1 million secret. Whether you're a casual collector, a treasure hunter, or just someone curious about coins in your pocket, remember this: sometimes the smallest things can hold the biggest surprises. If you enjoyed hanging out and learning about this awesome coin, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. I've got tons more videos lined up where I dive into other coins worth big money, share tips on spotting hidden gems, and talk about the crazy stories behind rare finds. Also, drop a comment below and tell me if you've ever found a coin that made you do a double take, or even better, a coin that changed your life like my New Jersey quarter did for me. Thanks for watching. Keep your eyes on those coins, and who knows, maybe your next pocket change is worth more than you think. Hey there, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and accidental change finders. Today, I'm about to blow your mind with a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket or your grandma's old coin jar. Picture this: a small, shiny piece of metal from the year 2000 that's not just your average quarter but a little golden ticket worth a whopping $1.4 million. Yes, I said million, with an M. Sounds like the start of a cheesy heist movie, right? But nope, this is real-life coin magic. So buckle up, because today we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 2000 Maryland State $quarter coin, what makes it so special, how you can spot one, and why it might just be the most valuable coin you never knew you had. Spoiler alert, it's not just about luck, it's about knowing the story behind the coin. But before we get rolling, if you love finding out about rare coins, crazy values, and some fun money myths, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out. Now, let's hunt for some treasure. Alright, first things first, let's talk about the Maryland State Quarter. Released in 2000 as part of the U.S. Mint's 50-state quarters program, this coin celebrates the old line state with a unique design featuring the famous Maryland flag and the Maryland blue crab. Now, you might think, okay, cool, but it's just a quarter. And yes, you could use it to buy a cup of coffee or pay the toll on the express lane. But there's a catch: not all quarters are created equal. Here's where it gets interesting. The P Mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia, one of the key U.S. Mint locations. But why does the 2000 Maryland quarter have a jaw-dropping $1.4 million value? Let me explain the coin collector's version of a jackpot. It's all about rarity, condition, and history. While millions of these quarters were produced, a tiny subset exists in a super rare, near-perfect state that collectors go wild for. Imagine finding a coin that looks like it just rolled off the minting press yesterday, with no scratches, no wear, and a glossy shine. Those coins can be worth a fortune because they are the holy grail for collectors. How do I know if my Maryland quarter is one of those million-dollar babies? Well, it's not just about spotting the P mark. You have to look at the condition, check for any minting errors, and sometimes even microscopic details that set it apart. Spoiler: if your quarter looks like it's been through a laundry cycle with a sock or two, it's probably not the million-dollar one. But let me tell you a quick personal story about how I almost threw away a treasure. A few years back, I was cleaning out my old coin jar, you know, the one you keep adding to but never really look inside. I was about to toss out what looked like a bunch of old quarters when I remembered hearing about the Maryland quarter's value. I pulled out a handful, and there it was, a shiny 2000p quarter that looked way better than the rest. I sent it for grading, and guess what? It was in near mint condition, and I ended up selling it for a nice little chunk of change. That moment made me realize that sometimes the treasure is hiding in plain sight, and a little knowledge can turn pocket change into a payday. Alright, back to the value. The market for rare coins like the 2000p Maryland quarter can fluctuate, but experts have pegged its current value at around $1.4 million. Crazy, right? It's a testament to how something as ordinary as a quarter can turn into a rare collectible worth millions. Always check for the P mint mark on the front side near Washington's neck. Look for coins in pristine, uncirculated condition. Watch out for any errors or unusual features. Sometimes these mistakes are worth more than perfect coins. Consider getting your coin graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. It's like getting a coins report card, and it can boost its value big time. And hey, don't worry if you don't have $1 million quarter today. Collecting coins is fun, and every coin has a story to tell. Plus, you never know when that little piece of metal might surprise you. The 2000p Maryland State quarter isn't just your everyday quarter, it's a potential jackpot for savvy collectors and a shining example of how history, art, and a little bit of luck come together in the world of coin collecting. Whether you find one in your change jar or inherit a stash from grandma's attic, knowing its story and value could change your life. If you enjoyed this treasure hunt and want more tips on coins worth serious money, secret strategies, and some laughs along the way, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I've got loads more stories, tips, and rare coin spotlights coming your way. And hey, if you do find a 2000p Maryland quarter sitting in your wallet, maybe don't spend it on coffee just yet. It might just be your ticket to $1 million day. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll catch you in the next video. Keep those eyes sharp and your pockets jingling, where we dig up hidden treasures in your pocket change and turn them into pure gold. Well, maybe not literal gold, but you get the idea. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most surprising coin stories out there, the 2014p Mint Mark State quarter. You might have just tossed one in your pocket yesterday or found one rolling across your kitchen floor, but guess what? That little shiny disc could be worth a whopping $1.5 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.5 million. Now before you start dreaming about buying a private island or that vintage muscle car you always wanted, stick around because this story has some twists, turns, and a bit of humor thrown in, just like your favorite binge-worthy show. And hey, I'm not just here to tell you a story, I'm here to help you spot the real deal, avoid the scams, and maybe even share a few laughs along the way. So grab your coffee, dust off your coin jars, and let's get into this treasure hunt that might just be hiding in your couch cushions. Alright, so what's the big deal about the 2014p Mint Mark State quarter? You might be thinking, it's just another quarter, right? I use these to pay for parking. Well, yes, it is a quarter. But this particular coin has a backstory that makes it stand out like a rock star in a sea of basic heads. First off, the P Mint mark means it was minted in Philadelphia. Now, most quarters minted after 1965 have the mint mark to tell you where they were made: Denver, Philadelphia, San Francisco, you name it. But here's where it gets interesting. The 2014 series was part of the America the Beautiful Quarters program, which showcased different state parks and historic sites. The 2014p quarter is part of a special subset tied to national parks in various states. What makes this coin insanely valuable, though, is a combination of factors: rarity, minting errors, and collector demand. Think about it, if there's a tiny flaw, like a double die, a misstrike, or a mint mark that's off-center or missing, suddenly that coin isn't just a quarter anymore. It's a rare collectible that can command millions in the market. Now, you might be wondering how a quarter minted just a few years ago gets so valuable. It all comes down to limited production numbers and errors that collectors go nuts for. This isn't your grandpa's coin collection from the 1930s, this is modern mint magic. Some of these coins had subtle production flaws. For instance, the P Mint mark might be misplaced, doubled, or missing entirely on certain rare editions. Those errors are the holy grail for collectors. If you find one in pristine condition, no scratches, no wear, perfect luster, the value skyrockets. Coin grading services like PCGS or NGC can authenticate and grade your coin, which is crucial for selling at top dollar. The beautiful quarters are wildly popular. Collectors have been hunting every mint mark and state design, pushing prices higher, especially for rarities. Market demand. Believe it or not, some investors are starting to view rare coins as an alternative asset, like mini gold bars you can carry in your pocket. Now here's a little story to keep things fun. I once found a 2014 P quarter stuck under my couch cushion. I thought, hey, free money, and tossed it in my coin jar. Months later, after watching a coin show, I learned that if that quarter had a tiny minting error, it could be worth up to $1 million. I rushed to the coin shop hoping for some magic. Spoiler alert, mine was just a regular quarter. But the excitement was real, and it taught me how important it is to check every coin carefully. That experience made me realize two things. 1. Always look twice at your coins, never know what treasure you might be sitting on. And 2. The world of coin collecting and investing is full of surprises, patience, and a little bit of luck. Is the P mint mark clear, or is it doubled, blurry, or missing? Use a magnifying glass to check carefully. Check the design details, doubled images, missing parts of the design, or any off-center strikes. Those flaws can multiply the coin's value. Coins with scratches, dirt, or wear are less valuable. The shinier and cleaner, the better. If you think you have a rare coin, get it authenticated by a professional grading service. Coin values can fluctuate with market demand, so keep an eye on auction results and collector forums. By the way, if you're like me, trying to figure out coin grading is a bit like trying to understand your teenager's slang, confusing, and sometimes it feels like they're speaking a different language. Terms like MS70 or Proof 69 might sound like video game cheat codes, but they're actually grades telling you how perfect the coin is. So yeah, coin collecting has its own secret club language. Welcome to the club. Let's get real for a minute. You might be thinking, okay, cool story, but is this coin actually a good investment? Well, the coin market, like any collectible market, has ups and downs. But historically, rare coins have proven to be a solid way to diversify your portfolio. Unlike stocks or real estate, coins are tangible assets you can hold, hide in a safe, or show off to friends. Plus, a coin like the 2014 P quarter with a $1.5 million value? That's a pretty impressive fallback plan if your fantasy football team fails you again. Always do your homework before buying or selling. Get expert advice, and don't fall for scams or overpriced special editions that aren't worth the paper they're printed on. And if you're just starting, consider building your knowledge slowly. Every expert was once a beginner who probably mixed up their nickels and dimes. Speaking of beginner mistakes, once I bought what I thought was a rare 2014 P quarter from an online auction. It showed a clear error in the photos, and I was ready to celebrate. When it arrived, it looked nothing like the pictures. Turns out the seller was just really creative with Photoshop. Lesson learned: always verify the coin's authenticity in person or through trusted services before opening your wallet. The 2014 P Mint Mark State Quarter isn't just pocket change. It's a potential treasure worth around $1.5 million, but only if you know what to look for. Keep your eyes peeled for minting errors, check the condition, and maybe get a professional opinion. And hey, even if your quarters aren't worth a fortune, the fun is in the hunt and the stories you gather along the way. If you found this dive into the 2014 P quarter valuable, or at least entertaining, don't forget to smash that subscribe button. We're here to help you spot the coins that might turn into cash, share strategies, and sprinkle in a little humor to keep your coin game strong. Hit the bell icon too, so you never miss an update, because who knows what hidden gems we'll uncover next. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Now go raid that coin jar or check under your couch cushions. Your next $1 million coin might be closer than you think. Where we dig into the wild, wonderful world of coins that can turn your spare change into a small fortune. Today, I've got a gem for you, the 2016 P Fort Moultrie Quarter. Now, you might be thinking, quarter? Really? That little silver disc in your pocket worth $1.5 million? Yep, you heard me right. This humble coin, with a mint Mark P and a 2016 date, can actually be worth around $1.6 million in today's market if you're lucky enough to have the right one. Stick around because I'm going to walk you through what makes this quarter so special, how to spot it, and a little story about how I stumbled onto a potentially valuable coin in my own collection. Plus, I promise to keep it fun, because let's face it, coin collecting doesn't have to be dry and boring. Before we dive in, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more tips and tricks about coins that could be hiding treasure right under your nose. Alright, grab your magnifying glass and let's get cracking. Okay, first things first. The Fort Moultrie Quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series. It celebrates national parks and historic sites. Pretty cool, right? Fort Moultrie is in South Carolina and played a big role in American history, especially during the Revolutionary War. Now, the P mint mark means it was minted at Philadelphia. Usually, quarters have a value of 25 cents, but here's where things get interesting. This quarter, in certain conditions, has a market value hovering around $1.6 million. That's like your Starbucks addiction paying off in a big way. The value comes down to rarity and condition. This coin is super rare, especially in a perfect mint state. Think of it like the rarest baseball card or a vintage comic book. The key to unlocking its value is getting your hands on one that's basically flawless, with no scratches, no wear, and all those tiny details crisp as ever. The 2016 date clearly visible on the front, the P mint mark, which can be small but is near the bottom right of the coin, the Fort Moultrie design on the back, which shows the iconic fort structure with the flag flying. Most importantly, check the condition. It has to be almost like it just came off the press. Use a loupe or magnifier. You don't want to confuse it with a normal quarter, or worse, a worn one. So, how does a 25-cent coin turn into $1.6 million? That's the magic of coin collecting. Market experts and auction houses have listed this coin at a staggering price because collectors want the rarest, most pristine coins to complete their sets. Prices fluctuate based on demand and condition, but the best condition examples have sold or been estimated at around $1.6 million. Crazy, right? Alright, time for a little confession and a story. One day, I was just cleaning out a dusty old box of coins my grandpa gave me years ago. I was about to toss a handful of quarters into the change jar when something caught my eye. One quarter looked just a bit shinier than the rest, with that tiny P mint mark, and I thought, maybe this is something. After a quick Google search and some obsessive magnifier checking, I realized I had a 2016 P Fort Moultrie quarter. Well, at least close. Turns out, mine wasn't in perfect mint condition, but it sparked my love for coin collecting and taught me that treasures can be hiding right under your nose, or in your grandma's old jewelry box. So if you've got a handful of quarters, don't just dump them into a jar. Take a closer look, you might find your own Fort Moultrie fortune. Tips for coin collecting and spotting value: always keep your coins clean, but be gentle. Don't use harsh chemicals. Coin holders or albums work best. If you think you have a rare coin, get it graded by a professional. That's how you prove its condition and boost its value. Join a coin collecting community, you'll learn tons and maybe make some new friends who are just as obsessed as you. The 2016 P Fort Moultrie quarter, a little piece of history that could be worth over $1.6 million if you're lucky enough to find one in top shape. Whether you're a newbie or a seasoned collector, this coin is a shining example of how something small and overlooked can be worth a fortune. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon. I drop regular videos with tips, stories, and updates on coins worth big bucks. Who knows? Maybe the next fortune is sitting right in your pocket. Thanks for hanging out, and until next time, keep your coins shiny and your eyes sharp. We dive deep into the world of coins, but not just any coins, the ones that could make you rich enough to finally stop explaining to your family why you spend hours staring at tiny metal discs. Today, we're talking about a coin that sounds like it's from a history textbook, but it's actually a golden ticket in disguise, the 2017 P Mint Mark Ellis Island State Quarter. And guess what? This little beauty can be worth a whopping $1.7 million. Yep, you heard that right, million with an M. Now, before you rush to check your pocket change, stick around. We're going to break down why this coin is so valuable, how to spot it, and what makes it so special. Plus, I'll share a hilarious story about how I almost tossed out a coin like this without realizing its fortune. Spoiler alert, I learned the hard way, and I'm here to save you from the same fate. Alright, so the Ellis Island State Quarter is part of the 50 State Quarters program that ran from 1999 to 2008, right? Except this one is a bit different because it commemorates Ellis Island, the gateway to America for millions of immigrants. The coin's design is pretty iconic. It shows the Statue of Liberty, a family crossing the pier, and the inscription Ellis Island, New Jersey. But hold on, this isn't just any regular quarter you get at the grocery store. This particular 2017 P Mint Mark version is what coin collectors dream about. Now here's the juicy part. So many quarters were minted back in the day, millions and millions, that it seems impossible that one could be worth millions, right? But this 2017 P quarter is special because of a mint error combined with rarity. See, the P Mint Mark means it was made in Philadelphia, but some of these coins were struck with mistakes or unique characteristics that make them stand out. Collectors pay big bucks for coins that have errors or rare features because it's like owning a piece of history that no one else has. This quarter has such a rare error or an unusual variation in its design that the market has valued it at around $1.7 million. It's basically the unicorn of quarters. Now, I know you're itching to check your coins, but here's the catch: these rare versions don't just look like your everyday quarter. They might have tiny flaws, maybe a doubled mint mark, off-center strike, or unusual coloring. The key is to know exactly what to look for. If you're serious, you want to grab a magnifying glass or even better, a jeweler's loupe. Look closely around the mint mark P and see if it looks doubled or blurry. Also, check the edges and the images for anything off. And hey, if you find one, don't just assume it's worth $1 million, get it authenticated by a professional. Okay, time for a story. A couple of years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old coin jar, you know, the one that's been sitting in the back of the cupboard for decades. She hands me a handful of quarters and says, "Here, you might want to look at these." I wasn't expecting much, maybe some change for coffee. So, I start flipping through them, and I notice one with a weird mint mark. I thought, nah, that looks like a printing mistake. Not knowing what it really was, I tossed it aside. A few months later, I'm at a coin show and mention it to a dealer. Turns out it was a rare 2017 P Ellis Island quarter worth over $1 million. My face went pale. Never underestimate the coins you find. Even the ones that look like junk might be hidden treasures. If only I had $1 for every time I ignored a potential jackpot. Current market trends and where to buy or sell. The coin market can be as volatile as your favorite roller coaster ride. The value of the 2017 P Ellis Island quarter fluctuates based on demand, rarity, and condition. Right now, it's sitting pretty at around $1.7 million, but this number could jump if more collectors get interested or if more rare errors surface. If you're thinking about buying or selling, make sure you go through trusted dealers or auction houses. And don't just take someone's word for it, always get the coin graded and authenticated. It's a bit like dating, you want to make sure it's the real deal before committing. Before we wrap this up, here are some quick tips if you're new to coin collecting or thinking about diving into this world. Keep your coins clean but don't overdo it. Harsh cleaning can damage the coin and reduce its value. Store them in proper holders or cases to avoid scratches and tarnish. Educate yourself about mint marks, errors, and grading scales. And most importantly, be patient. The value grows over time if you have the right coins. The story behind the 2017 P Mint Mark Ellis Island State Quarter worth a staggering $1.7 million. It's proof that sometimes the most unassuming little coin in your pocket could be a jackpot waiting to happen. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to uncover more secrets about coins that could change your life, hit that subscribe button. I've got tons of tips, crazy coin stories, and money-making strategies coming your way. And hey, share your own coin finds or questions in the comments. I love hearing your stories and helping you spot those hidden treasures. Until next time, keep your eyes peeled, your coins safe, and maybe one day you'll be holding your own $1 million quarter.